We have all heard from a young age that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. But in today's busy culture, breakfast has now become an option. You only eat it if you have time. But what harm are you doing to your body, and what health benefits are you missing out when you don't make breakfast a regular habit in your life? Well, today I plan to convince you why breakfast should be made a regular habit in your life. By explaining how it reduces the risk of type 2 diabetes and heart problems, how it decreases the possibility of obesity and binge eating disorder, how it can boost your mental ability, and I will finish with examples of what breakfast foods should be eaten at breakfast. So this speech applies to everyone. For college students such as me, we are beginning to enter the world of adults, and we need to make choices that are well informed about our health, and eating breakfast daily is one of them. My audience members who are not in college, this is still applicable to you. Breakfast should be eaten by everybody and enjoyed by everybody because the benefits are too good to miss out on. I have carefully researched to make sure that all my facts and evidences are truthful and correct to the best of my knowledge. So today I will present evidence why breakfast should not be skipped, with information such as it reduces the risk of type 2 diabetes and heart problems, fights against obesity and binge eating disorder, how it improves your mental performance, and I will lastly finish with examples of what foods to eat for breakfast. So let's begin with our first point. This may come as a surprise, but eating breakfast on a regular basis can reduce the risk of developing type 2 diabetes and heart problems. An article titled Why Eating the Right Breakfast is So Important, published by Consumer Reports in 2015, reveals in a study of 30,000 men, not eating breakfast daily increased the risk of developing type 2 diabetes by 21%. And the same study was done on women, and the same conclusion was found. Not eating breakfast on a regular basis increased the risk of type 2 diabetes by 28%. Sharon Colson, a clinical instructor in nutrition at the University of Delaware, says, skipping breakfast is associated with increased disease risk, not only obesity, but diabetes and heart disease, and just lower dietary quality. In the Time article, Is Breakfast Really Good For You? Here's what Science says, published in January of 2019. Charles Spence, an experimental psychologist at the University of Delaware, wrote a journal article titled Breakfast, the Most Important Meal of the Day, in July 2017. Published in the International Journal of Gastronomy and Food Science. In his article, Spence stated that there was a 27% increase in coronary heart disease amongst those North American men who regularly failed to eat breakfast at the start of the day. So we have discussed what diseases breakfast can prevent, so let's examine other health problems that breakfast also prevents. For example, there are two: obesity and binge eating disorder. Chrissy C. Tangi, a clinical dietitian at Rush University Medical Center, is quoted in an internet article, Why Breakfast is the Most Important Meal of the Day, with saying, studies have found that although people who skip breakfast eat slightly fewer calories during the day, they tend to have a higher body mass index, or BMI. Cynthia Embolick, the director of the Eating Disorder Program at the University of North Carolina, writes in her book, Crave, Why You Binge Eat and How to Stop, writes this: many researchers consider binge eating disorder to be closely related to the disorder of the circadian rhythm. In fact, several lines of evidence point to the possibility that binge eating and its partner obesity may share some fundamental problems in the terms of the circadian rhythm. By skipping breakfast, you are setting yourself up for binge eating disorder. Your breakfast is lunch, lunch is supper, and supper becomes a midnight snack. This is an example of your circadian rhythm being disrupted. Now, your circadian rhythm is your body's natural clock. It is why you tend to be hungry around breakfast, lunch, and supper, and why you're tired towards the evening. So when you skip breakfast, you tend to binge eat to make up for your lost meal. And when you binge eat, you have raised the risk of obesity. So now let's move into our next point about how breakfast can give you a mental edge. Teachers say before a big test that you need to get lots of rest the night before and eat a good breakfast in the morning. But is this actually true that eating breakfast can improve your scores on a test? Well, Katie Adolphs, Claire L. Lawton, and Louise Dye did a study about this question and wrote their findings in the journal article titled The Effects of Breakfast on Behavior and Academic Performance in Children and Adolescents, published in 2013. In this article, children who ate a healthy breakfast every day performed better in class and had better grades than those children who did not eat a breakfast every day. Another example of this is found in a magazine article titled "Why Eating the Right Breakfast is So Important," published by Consumer Reports in August of 2015. It reads, "Research involved adults and children has indicated that breakfast might enhance memories, attention, the speed of processing information, reasoning, creativity, learning, and verbal abilities." So now next time you have a big test, important meeting, or presentation, make sure you eat breakfast in the morning because you can give yourself the mental edge and prepare yourself better for this big day. So now we've covered why breakfast is essential. Let's go over what foods you need in order to gain these benefits. So you need to eat foods that are unprocessed, high in whole grains, protein, and fiber that contain vitamins and minerals. So for example, oatmeal is a good food to eat in the morning. It is high in fiber and also contains vitamins and minerals needed for your body. Eating a bowl of yogurt is good because it is packed full of calcium and protein. Always eating a bowl of fruit is very good for you because it contains your minerals and vitamins needed for the day. And fruit that is good for you is bananas, strawberries, blueberries, and raspberries. Those are good breakfast fruits to eat. Now, for your whole grains, you want to make sure you eat bread that is 100% whole wheat, and then make sure you are eating cereal that is high in fiber and low in sugar. So now reviewing the evidence, breakfast does seem like a meal that cannot be skipped. It almost seems like it is the most important meal of the day. So we have covered why breakfast is essential for your health, because it reduces the risk of type 2 diabetes and heart problems, decreases the possibility of obesity and binge eating disorder. It can improve your brain's mental performance, and we have also covered what food you need to eat in the morning. So tomorrow, I hope each one of you go to the kitchen in the morning and make yourself breakfast with the foods I have showed you, because the health benefits of breakfast cannot be skipped out on. And I'm confident now that you know that breakfast is the most important meal of the day. Thank you.